Well, hello, cousins. I hope you're ready for a little unindoctrination, little late night unindoctrination, a little unscheduled late night unindoctrination. We're glad to have you here tonight. We're going to talk about Planet X and reveal to you that it's a myth to hide Planet Z and tell you why. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, and I am not here to give you any answers. If you've come to this channel looking for answers, you've come to the wrong place. I do not give answers. I raise questions because at the end of the day, the only person that can ever really answer your questions is you. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. You don't have original sin. You got the spark of divinity within, and you don't have to come on bended knee to somebody else's savior. That's the message here, ladies and gentlemen. And it's got nothing to do with answering questions for you. Never has, never will, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk a little bit about this whole idea of Planet X. Let's talk a little bit about the idea of Planet Z. And that one we can't talk much about. You're going to have to reason that out on your own. You're going to have to come to your own realizations on that. That's basically talking about the Ziodominions, which have invaded our realm, really more from a portal than from a planet. Nice to see Tammy catching us live. Nice to see Cherise. Usually there is Cherise, but we had company. Nice to see John Slack and Deborah all over on Facebook. Nice to see Maple Syrup and Free Mind over on D Live. And nice to see everybody over on YouTube. Very, very happy to see you all. So let's just dive right into this. What do you say? Let's just dive into this. Let's just look into this. Now, I don't expect this to be all that long today. Why isn't this showing up? Oh, that's why. I don't expect this to be all that long today. I will open the lines at the end of my presentation so we can talk it over. But Planet X being a myth to hide Planet Z. So the creation of the Planet X myth, ladies and gentlemen. The creation of the Planet X myth is all about Zecharia Sitchin. And many people hold Zecharia Sitchin in very high regard. Many people hold Zecharia Sitchin as a great prophet. Nice to see Steve from Nollins. And it's very interesting to me that almost no skeptical scholarship has ever done in the field of Zecharia Sitchin. And just to let you know, Zecharia Sitchin was born in Baku, Azerbaijan, and he was raised in Palestine. He was raised in Palestine, and he was a journalist and an editor in Israel for many, many years. And he finally moved to New York City. Now, Zecharia Sitchin is the guy that basically invented Planet X, the guy that invented Marduk, the guy that invented Nibiru, the 12th planet, the Anunnaki, all of that stuff. That's Zecharia Sitchin. Raised in Palestine, editor in Israel, moved to New York City. Interesting things to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Zecharia Sitchin, in the opinion of Dr. Michael Heiser, who's an MA and a PhD in Hebrew Bible and ancient Semitic languages, of which Sumerian was one, and Sitchin claimed to be an expert in it. But anyway, Zecharia Sitchin, according to a real expert, was not a scholar of ancient languages. What he had written in his books could neither pass peer review, nor is it informed by factual data from the primary sources that, again, from Dr. Michael Heiser, M.A., Master of Arts, Ph.D., Doctor of Philosophy in Hebrew, and anti-Semitic languages. Now, when Mr. Sitchin tells readers things like the Sumerians believed there were 12 planets, the Anunnaki were space travelers, Nibiru was the supposed 12th planet, he is simply fabricating data. In other words, he's making shit up. It's too bad that Zecharia Sitchin came out before the power curve of YouTube. Zachariah Sitchin could have been huge on YouTube because making up bullshit and fabricating data gets you big, big numbers on YouTube. And unfortunately, many of you that are here on YouTube support those kind of people, but hopefully nobody that we're talking to tonight. But he simply fabricated data. And it's not a sense, and it's not a question of how he translates the text. The issue is that his ideas don't even exist in the cuneiform text at all. Zachariah Sitchin totally made his shit up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Zachariah Sitchin totally made his shit up. 100% made up. But Jeff, what about this person? What about that person? What about these other people that teach about Planet X? What about them? What about them? The hidden world of Zachariah Sitchin. Sitchin graduated from the London School of Economics at the University of London, majoring in economic history. Majoring in economic history, London School of Economics, University of London. Bells are going off in some of your minds because some of you know what that means. And the rest of you are about to find out because the London School of Economics is part of the City of London, the financial and factual power center of the Western world, owned and ruled by the Illuminati faction of the Rothschilds, and it serves as a talent factory for their economic leaders. And we can safely assume that most, if not all, of these students are initiated on various degrees of the local Masonic lodges, their secret knowledge, their occult rituals, and their apocalyptic belief systems. That's where Sitchin graduated from. That's what Sitchin's economic history degree was in. He doesn't even have a degree in ancient languages. Now, the goal of creating a global atmosphere of Armageddon, the Illuminati made a clever move by injecting the tale of Nibiru, Planet X into the UFO and New Age communities. It really was a masterstroke because not only do you have all of the New Age people in on it and pushing it, not only do you have all of the Illuminati people in on it pushing it, now you got all the chuckleheads on YouTube that want to talk about ETs and X, Ys, and Zs, and they are just booming, ladies and gentlemen. Booming, booming, booming. Gnostic Syncretist says the Lost Book of Enki, which is one of Sitchin's books, is totally unsupportable, fantastical, and unable to be proven. It also introduces information which relegates humanity to a subclass race. Yes, it does. And funny you should mention that because we discussed that in just a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. It's proven, ladies and gentlemen, that Zachariah Sitchin was a high Freemason. So he surely wasn't abused by the Freemasons, as some people want to say, but he played a major part in distributing what some would call Luciferian information. Stormy Flores is right on it. Bobby Thor is right on it. He did make a lot of money. Mr. Akilwil is right on it. Look here, don't look there scheme. That's exactly what's going on. And it's very interesting that it is recommended, and this comes from a CIA classified document titled Flying Saucers, dated September 7, 1952. It is recommended that A, the Director of Central Intelligence advise the National Security Council of the security implications inherent in the flying saucer problem. B, CIA, under its assigned responsibilities and in cooperation with the Psychological Strategy Board, that's the mind warpers, should immediately investigate the possible offensive and defensive utilization of the phenomenon of flying saucers for psychological warfare purposes, both for and against the United States of America. Again, from a classified CIA document titled Flying Saucers, dated September 7th, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. And you heard that silver's blowing up today. If you had been with me and got in on the Mint Builder, we've already been stacking some silver, and we're already seeing some profit from it. So if you haven't got involved with Mint Builder, it gives you a way to get a subscription as low as less than $20 a month and get some silver or some gold on a monthly regular basis. So you can kind of, without even thinking about it, build yourself a little bit of financial security. Now, I'm not a financial analyst. I don't play one on YouTube, but Cynthia and I are really enjoying working with Mint Builder. We have many people joining up. Help us make a few shekels while you put a few shekels away for the future. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Mint Builder logo, and you will be able to see what that is all about. And as we continue on, we get to the why is this big lie? Why did Sitchin do what he did? Why the big lie of Planet X? Well, it's really an old question with the same answers. Where's the same answers? And the same answers are, ladies and gentlemen, as to why the big lie. Money. And Zecharia Sitchin made a lot of it. A lot of it. Fame. Zecharia Sitchin got a lot of that too. Power. Zecharia Sitchin had a lot of that too. And disinformation, distraction, and cover. Because if they can keep you focused on a planet that's out there that nobody's seen. Oh, yes, Jeff, I've seen it. No, you haven't. For a planet that's out there, that's going to come, and you better worry about that because it's going to come and it might ruin everything. It's Planet X, OMG. But yet, when there's a problem right here on this world of somebody taking over and ruling and abusing, we don't have time to worry about that because we're worried about that other Planet X. We can't worry about the Ziodoms because we're worried about the Anunnaki. We can't discover the infiltration of Planet Z because we're worried about Planet X. It's disinformation. It's distraction. It's cover. And one of these things is not like the other. One of these things is not the same. Because Planet Z is real and Planet X isn't, and you're in the middle of, and you're being played like in a game. That's just the way it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's just the reality of the situation. That's the way it goes, folks. Let's see if there's any questions that we can answer here. We're talking about Trump country. Absolutely. We got people from Texas, North Carolina. Rodney says, I'm the greatest. Thank you so much. Cherise signed up for Bitlocity and is looking to join Mint Builder. Perfect. Tracy wants to know about clones. Well, you'll have to look on my website and here at YouTube and look up the videos on clones. So if you'd like to learn about the clones, go do some work and study and see what we have to say about the clones. Look over there while we build up around you and enslave you and own the world. Absolutely, 100%. Let's see what else we got in here. All about fear porn. Absolutely. That's what Planet X is all about, is fear porn. That's what Planet Z is all about, is fear porn. So that's the big reasons, ladies and gentlemen. Money, fame, power, disinformation, distraction, and cover, which is also a certain segment can have more money, fame, and power. So let's move on. Planet X distracts us from Planet Z. That's why they do it. That's why they invented it. That's why it's such big business on YouTube. Why? Oh, YouTube. Ooh, that's interesting. Bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, Planet X, Nibiru, Marduk, 12th Planet, Inky, Inul, all the Sumerian stories. They're a Freemasonic invention. I guess literally that the Sumerian predates the Limnish. So it's just another story. And just because Aesop's Fables is older than Mother Goose doesn't mean that Aesop's Fables are more true or real or factual than Mother Goose. They're just older. They're just older. Just because Grimm's fairy tales might be a little bit older than Mother Goose doesn't mean that Grimm's fairy tales are any more factual. Bye. Don't mean they're any more factual. I don't like what I'm hearing. It doesn't agree with what I believe, so I'm going to take my marbles and go home. Holly Walker, well, bye. This is not a place for children. This is not a place for open the hanger and let me put the little spoon into your mouth. You cannot sit here like a baby bird, blah, and wait for me to throw up into your beak. If you don't like it, bye. This is a place for adults who want to learn, who want to grow, who want to hear different opinions. I'm not giving you answers. And you don't have the guts or the integrity to ask yourself questions. So you really don't belong here. In Planet X, in addition to being a Limnish Freemasonic invention, and it doesn't matter, oh, I don't believe that. It doesn't matter what you believe. Facts are facts. Words mean things. Reality is reality. You don't have to agree with it. And Planet X also distracts from Planet Z, ladies and gentlemen. And Planet Z is the real, hidden, secret threat to our world today. Facts don't care about your feels. Planet Z is the real problem today. Planet Z is the real threat today. We are under dominion of the Planet Z media machine. We are under dominion of the Planet Z infiltrators financial machine. We are under dominion of the Planet Z cultural infiltrators dominion. We are. Force invaders from Planet Z are about to take over the United States of America if we don't do something about it. And if they take over the United States of America, they might take over the world. That's the real problem. Planet Z. And because Planet X, we forget about Planet Z. And are you really trying to tell me that something that is known as Planet Z, that Planet X wasn't created with the Planet Z idea in mind? And once again, ladies and gentlemen, Planet X cheapens our origins. According to the Planet X story, we are actually just created to dig gold by sloppy gods. Why do you say sloppy gods? Because the sloppy gods didn't even do a good job creating. They made a bunch of things that couldn't think, couldn't work, made a bunch of messed up forms. That's not a god. A god knows what they're doing. A god does things right. They weren't gods. But they want us to believe that we are diggers of gold created by sloppy gods, and it wants us to outsource our betterment to otherworldly entities while making us a slave race in need of a savior. And all the time, this prevents us from looking at the real invasion from the real Planet Z, which is probably more of a portal, that has all but taken over our world. Planet X distracts from Planet Z, and that's why it was dreamed up and why it was pushed so hard, why it is pushed so hard, and why it'll continue to be pushed so hard while too many people in this chat room and watching this video are supporters of that kind of stuff. Folks, it's just the way it is. And if you don't like, if that hurts your feels, sorry. Think about it. Think about it. Think about Planet X. Think about Planet Z. Think about the message of Planet Z. The people from Planet X are a superior race. It's the same thing that the people from Planet Z tell us. Huh. That's pretty interesting. Oh, somebody saw Planet Z on the History Channel, so it must be true. Come on, man. So the people from Planet X are a superior race, just like we're told the people from Planet Z are a superior race. The people from Planet X made us, so they're obviously better than us, just like we're told the people from Planet Z are. We were created to serve the people from Planet X, just like we're created to serve the people from Planet Z. We're here to dig the gold and create the wealth for the people from Planet X. Isn't that the same story that we're told about the people from Planet Z? And oh yeah, by the way, Zecharia Sitchin repeatedly calls Planet X / Nibiru the planet of the crossing. Isn't that interesting? The planet of the crossing. Do you know what the word Hebrew means in Hebrew? It means one who crossed over. It means people from the other side. Isn't that interesting, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that interesting? Planet of the crossing, Planet X. The people who crossed over, Planet Z. People from the other side, Planet Z. People from the crossing, Planet X. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? How about that? Now, if you have a question or if you have a short statement about your belief, do not share it in the chat room. You will not be permitted to do so. Why? Because this is a call-in program. Emphasis on the call-in. We don't answer questions in the chat room because we want you to call in. We don't allow you to make statements of your belief in the chat room because we want you to call in. And we want you to call in when the host says the lines are open, which the host has not said yet. People from Planet X and Planet Z are a superior race. People from Planet X made us, just like the people from Planet Z are chosen. We were created to serve the people from Planet X and to dig their gold and build their wealth, create their wealth, just like we were with the people from Planet Z. And the people from Planet X are coming back again, just like the people from Planet Z. And Planet X is called the planet of the crossing. And the word Hebrew in Hebrew means one who crossed over, and people from the other side. I think personally that Zecharia Sitchin should have stuck to chicken. That original recipe from the different, 31, 11 herbs and spices, that was really good stuff. He should have stuck to the chicken, because when he started talking about Anunnaki and ancient texts, he turned into a turkey, ladies and gentlemen. He turned into a turkey. He turned into a turkey. He should have stuck to chicken. I asked you not to call in yet. You kept doing it, so I'm not going to take your call. It's that simple. He should have stuck to chicken. Planet X. It's a myth to hide Planet Z. It's a creation of a fake problem to hide a real problem. And those are just the facts, ladies and gentlemen. Those are just the facts. And I make no apology for them. I'm not here to bring you answers. I'm here to get you to ask questions. That's the whole game. And until you start asking questions, And until you start questioning answers, you are never, ever going to manifest your divinity. You're never going to realize your divinity. You're never going to realize your sovereignty, and you're never really going to manifest your freedom. So all of you people out there that disagree with me, lick your fingers, because it's finger looking good, right? Lick your fingers, clean them off, dial your phone, and ask me a question. Or dial your phone, make a short statement, not an invitation to make a speech, but make a short statement, be polite, be interesting, and be on point. Or you won't be on the phone very long. Trust me. So we are opening up the phone lines right now, ladies and gentlemen. The phone lines are open. It is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, 913-279-0831. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. It's a special late night random podcast, Planet X, Planet Z. You don't have to ask questions about the actual thing that we talked about. You can talk about anything. It's open forum. Call in. And you're the first caller. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
What's going on? How you doing?
Doing great. What's on your mind?
Oh, man, it mirrors the Bible bullshit just 100%. It's so spot on. A great show. Wonderful show. I'm glad somebody's got the integrity to come out and call it what it is.
Thank you. What do you mean by when you say it mirrors the Bible completely? How do you mean?
Well, I guess I should be a little more specific. What I mean by that is we're created, and then they're coming back. They're going to save us.
Right.
You know, it's like bow down and receive what we think you're worth.
Absolutely. I like
and
it.
And it's everybody grew up with Christmas and Santa Claus, and it's time to put away childish things. We're adults.
It is. It really is. But it's so hard for people to do so.
Yeah, it's way past time. And people are, they're waking up now, and they're pissing themselves. And it's like, come on, I've been trying to wake you people up for 17 years, and now you're freaking out.
Yep. Well,
it's
maybe
bad.
At least we're getting some positive movement towards actually waking the hell up. And, it's one thing to wake up, but you also got to get out of bed.
Right. Yeah, you can't be a keyboard warrior, and you can't tell your friends, we got to do this, we got to do that. You got to be prepared to do any and everything possible to have sovereignty again.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Valiant Archer. Oh, sorry. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Valiant Archer, do you know that if you, instead of going into my chat room, not making a phone call, but going into my chat room and exactly as I asked you not to, do you realize that by going into my chat room as I asked you not to and typing in what's Planet Z, do you realize if you hadn't been sitting there in the nest like a baby bird with your mouth open, waiting for me as mama bird, and I'm a little uncomfortable with that imagery, to come over and barf into your mouth, do you realize that if you didn't type in what's Planet Z in a chat room, if you'd have put it in the URL of your search engine, you'd already have your answer. You'd already have your answer. Folks, I'm not here to answer your questions. I'm not here to spoon feed you. I'm not here to pat you on your little head and make you feel good. I'm here to kick you in your lazy ass and get you to start asking your own questions and questioning your own answers. Don't ask me, look it up. What's going to happen when you can't call into a show and ask Jeff? I am not your answer man. I'm your ass-kicking man. Don't ask me what you haven't tried to study yourself for. And I'm probably still not going to tell you, but I might lead you to where you can find it. Folks, this is real world, big boy, big girl, grown up. Let's get after it. Let's get busy. I've been saying for years, we're the last generation of real humans. Nobody asks me anymore what that means. We know what that means. And what it means now as we look around us is it's time to get busy, ladies and gentlemen. And when you do call in, you're going to hear, welcome to the Christian Whistleblower. Just press 0. If you hear music, that means you're on hold. And you can stay there for up to 15 minutes. We got a lot of calls. I don't know if we'll make you wait 15 minutes, though. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeffrey. I had 2 Rod's questions and then 1 follow-up for you.
All right, get to it. What's the Rod's questions?
Was Valiant Thor a Ziodominion?
Was Valiant Thor a Ziodominion? It says, yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And are succubus Ziodominions spiritually attacking me when I'm trying to sleep?
Are succubus Ziodominions spiritually attacking Brandon while he's trying to sleep? Yes, sort of. That's part of it. But, some people wait a long time to try to get a succubus, and you got them coming after you. I know that they're nasty. And, yeah, wow, that's too bad. I hope it doesn't happen to you often.
What should I do about that?
What should you do about that? What did I do about it? When I was having trouble with that, and I basically, before I went to sleep, told them, you can't come. I actually,
I'm having the opposite problem right now.
But
no, really.
I don't understand what you're saying. You're having the opposite problem. I told them not to come to me.
Right now, I'm having that problem.
Yeah. So anyway, and then there's practical things you can do, and I don't know why, but they don't like silver. If you've got any silver, keep it around you. Put it on, wear a silver chain or something. They don't like roses. Okay. They don't like garlic. So you can put those things around you, and that should help you.
All right. Hey, thank you.
Hey, did you said you had something to follow up on too, or was that it?
Oh, that was the follow-up question. But
all right,
for those
cool.
that don't know, look up Valiant Thor and how that's a big psyop too.
Well, tell them real quickly what Valiant Thor is.
There was a pastor named Frank E. Stranges when I first started researching basically alternative space programs and stuff. This was testimony that I came upon, and he talked about this guy named Valiant Thor, who was supposedly from the interior of the planet Venus, and he was an advisor to the president at the White House. There's a book called The Stranger in the White House.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that's really good stuff. And also, Brandon, if you find yourself under attack by a succubus or any type of unbalanced entity, do you know the hue? You just make the hue sound.
Frequency.
It's if you're making it right, you can feel it in your forehead, up in your third eye. It's like hue, and they literally can't stay in that harmonic. They'll either have to zap into balance and not be an unbalanced entity anymore, or they'll have to flee.
All right.
So use the hue.
So I've been trying to figure that out.
When I was having
yeah.
And when I was having trouble with those entities, I would wake myself up, going hue. It was really interesting, and then they went away because they don't want to be rebalanced.
It's been a problem for me for like probably going on 4 years now, and it finally took me the realization that, man, this is some sort of an attack, and I didn't realize it till now.
Absolutely. They want to sap your energy. They want to sap your strength. They want to keep you from sleep, and they want to get you off your game. So I think you got the upper hand. Good for you. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
Hey, Jeff. Praise God most foremost, man. I like what you're doing, bro. I had to call in, man, because you're right on point with the got to kick people in the ass, make them do their research, man, because it's so simple. Everything that's going on, it's clear, cut, and dry what's going on. And they're lying, telling us we're in these 7 continents. The friggin' Queen of England is friggin' head of the 7 continents and the high seas. But what about all of the continents outside the South Pole where all of those planets are, their suns and moons? That's where the other planets are, and that's where they're fucking coming from, coming over here and distracting us and blending in with us, got us divided by races and all that, so they could fit in and deceive us. And it's so clear, man. People got to do their fucking research, and they'll see everything's been revealed to us already.
Good call. Lots of ideas there, lots of thoughts there. Do I agree with them all? No. But if you notice, that caller was right on point. And I know that you want to be polite and ask me how I'm doing. I'm doing great. I really am. I'm doing fantastic. And I know that's a little bit of a nervous thing, but when you're calling in to a show, just boom, get right to it. And this guy, I mean, he was right on point. He was very interesting. He was very polite, and his points were boom, boom, boom. I don't agree with them all, but this is a show about opinions, mine, yours, and sometimes what mine is on yours, and rarely what yours is on mine, depending upon how interesting it is. So that's the way you do it. Great call, interesting thoughts, and certainly if you would go back and write down everything he said, go back in the show when you can and write down everything he said and start studying that. That will really help you out. Exactly right, Brandon. It does make you tired, and they're trying to sap your energy. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Jeffrey? I just wanted to say that I agree that old Zach was probably a limb shill.
No doubt. Definitely a Jesuit one. I haven't been able to connect him. I mean, but you in Palestine, in Israel, New York City, financed by the Rockefellers, but he was definitely a Freemason, which is just limbs for Gentiles, limbishness for Gentiles, and he definitely was involved with the Jesuits.
Okay, and so what was he promoting? He was promoting that we live on a planet spinning through space.
Yep.
He was promoting that people from another planet came here, right?
Yep.
So he was definitely on those lines. I've kind of lost part. Okay, wait. The Nibiru thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mentioned this to you before, that the whole movie Jupiter Rising.
Yeah.
All right. Just take this concept for what it may be. It's just a hypothesis. A hypothesis. The whole Hindu Vedic cosmic egg theory.
Yeah. I've got to look that up. I keep hearing that. It keeps coming across my plate. Cosmic egg, cosmic egg, cosmic egg. So I got the message. I'm on it.
Try to wrap your head around this, Jeffrey. Say the cosmic egg is 1,000,000 miles in just diameter. Say it's like 500,000 miles tall. And according to the Vedic text, heaven is at the top of the egg. And there's the waters below. So if you can get your mind around, what if we live in that big a world and it's old? The technology is so high. And like we're not in the outer worlds. We're in the middle world. Middle Earth.
Interesting.
Constant war.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. And also, Brandon, that hue is at 432. So if you can have 432 playing around you, that will help you too. That's a great call. Those are great, great points. And that's why I'm saying it's definitely a psyop, Planet X, to keep us from realizing and recognizing Planet Z. That is really, 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 really important. And for the reasons that the caller just pointed out, great, great stuff. And we've got more callers online. Oh, come on, man. It's Jeffrey Daugherty. I'm live, and so are you. What's on your mind?
I'm glad I caught you, Jeff. I missed the last two live, but the third time is a charm. It's Get Dagger calling.
Get Dagger. What's up, my friend?
Not much. Just trying to catch up on all the programming stuff. So I got on this one here half an hour late, so I'm going to have to kind of rewatch it. But I did watch the race mixing podcast and the Marry Your Cousin, and they were very, very interesting. My dad's half brother, who just recently passed away, was married to a Native lady. Yeah. And they had, I think, 6 kids or 7 kids or something like that. So they lived on the reserve here in Ontario. And when she passed away, they basically kicked him off out of his own house that he paid for his whole life, like 40 years or
because he wasn't native.
That's right, because he wasn't native, exactly. So stuff like that does happen. And then, unfortunately, then he moved in with, when she passed away, he married this, or was common law with this other lady, a young lady, or younger than him anyways. He was 91 when he passed away.
Wow.
My dad was looking after his affairs. He's his power of attorney. And he set up his pension and that. And he said, Harold, where's all your money? And I guess she had kind of like, she was fleecing him. He was just such a nice guy. And took his car, sold the car, even though it was supposed to go to my brother, and
horrible,
all this other crazy stuff. So that doesn't really matter what race you are. There's people like that that'll screw you. It doesn't matter what race.
Hey, can I ask you a question along these lines?
Yeah.
I have a Canadian friend that told me this was true, and I just want to ask you if it's true. Is the most well-known red wine in Canada, "Give us back our land"?
That's funny you mentioned that, because I was just watching a Jets game, and before the national anthem, they said the whole treaty land before they did the national anthem.
That's craziness. Get Dagger, our Canadian friend. Thanks so much for being here and putting up with my tasteless jokes. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. You're live. Please turn down your radio and tell us what's on your mind.
Hey, man. How's it going? My name.
You got to turn down in the background. I can't hear you.
I'm turning it off. 1 second.
Thanks. No worries.
There we go.
All right. What's on?
Okay. I got a couple questions, but I want to start this off with this. And just say, what is your definition of the spark of divinity?
It's like they say the divinity is a great big flame, and we're just a little spark of it. So it's the piece of divinity that is deep within us that unites us with divinity, and it's that spark that we fan into a flame as we continue to become more and more of what we truly are and what we're meant to be.
Right on. All right, that's a good one. All right, the rods. Where do you get those?
I make them.
You, really?
Yep.
Dude, those things are strikingly accurate.
They are strikingly accurate. They're very, very rarely wrong, and on the occasions that they are, there may be extenuating circumstances. But the thing that's crazy about them is, people say, "Oh, they're just confirming what you think and what you feel. They're just manifesting or magnifying and running on your energy." But that's not true. They will disagree with me a lot.
Yeah, if you could even do that in a controlled experiment, that's amazing enough. What are they made of?
Copper. Copper is actually a better conductor of energy than even gold. That's why, gold would be really expensive, but copper is a better conductor, and obviously it's a little bit more sturdy, and they are amazingly accurate. I think they're the most profound yes-no divining device in the world. And you can find shit with them too. It's crazy. I found my wallet. I found my cat. I found a lot of things that'll point right to them.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So you can buy them from you?
Yep. I charge $50 for them if you're in the U.S. postage paid. And yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So, all right. Another thing is, did you hear about Trump getting he got a personal visit at Mar-a-Lago from the GOP, from the head of the GOP?
Yeah, he got Senator McCarthy, right?
Yeah. Or wait, McCarthy?
I don't know his name, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. He got that.
Yeah, he got that.
Which is very interesting for an ex-president. I don't even think I will go out on a limb and say that the Senate minority leader hasn't even met with Biden, but he's still meeting with Trump. So very, very interesting stuff. I like the way you slipped that in, because it is very, very interesting what's going on. And yeah, it's cray out there right now, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin McCarthy, right? I think I said the name correctly the first time, didn't I? How about that? So Kevin McCarthy, and Tracy's right. The rods won't answer you if you ask them sloppy or silly questions. You have to ask them actual real questions. Sometimes it takes a little getting, they take a little getting used to you. And it used to be when I would make them, I would swirl them 50 times each way. I would make him do a bunch of answers, and I would find out they would get too connected to my energy, so that when I sent them out to you, it would take you a while. So now I just make sure they work, and I put them in the bag and send them out. So we try not to get them hooked in to my energy. We want them hooked into yours. And, you know, they got to get to know you a little bit. They got to get to know you a little bit. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What is on your mind?
Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, I didn't get to totally finish my thought, the whole Nibiru thing.
Yeah.
But I think, okay, I mentioned it might be 1 million miles wide, this realm that we live on. So I've seen something that could fit the description of Nibiru. It actually showed up on Google, and then it was gone. But okay, high tech. I think we live in a world that is so high tech. We're like monkeys in the trees, kind of. But I think Nibiru is like a condo in the heavens that are much bigger than we can even imagine. So I do believe it's real, but I don't think it's what they say it is. I think it's just like high tech.
Well, that's interesting. Of course, I don't agree with you, but that's very interesting. And it's an interesting hypothesis. Again, I don't share it, but it's an interesting hypothesis. Thanks for being polite, being on point, and sharing something that's interesting. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. You're live. What's on your mind?
Hi, Jeffrey. It's Mel.
Hey, Mel.
Hi. What's on my mind tonight is about the planet X, planet Z phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing some reading about this, and so I wanted to run it by you and see what you thought. The reading that I did basically was just saying when these planets would theoretically come into orbit, it would create a gravitational pull on planet Earth, cause the planet to stop, and cause us to go in a backward direction, which would then cause a magnetic change to our planet, which would then cause geographical changes to the Earth.
Wow, there's a lot of assumptions in that theory so far. But okay.
Yes, and grand solar minimum. What do you think?
You kind of lost me at gravity. What's gravity? You lost me at other planets. You lost me at spinning and spinning backwards. So we're not on the same page at all with that, but that's okay. I'm glad to see that you're thinking. I'm glad to see that you're studying. Glad to see that you're figuring. And if you keep studying and you keep looking, then I think that you'll eventually come out at the right place. You're a smart person, and we don't happen to be on agreement right now, but we're in agreement on how important it is to study. And I call it, milk your own cows, milk a lot of cows, but make your own butter. And I think that's what you're doing. And as Tracy Dyer says, you have a right to be wrong. That's a little joke, but keep studying and, keep feeling free to call in and share what you think you're finding.
Yeah, and it's not that I really truly believed what I just shared with you, but it's something that I read and I thought about what that might mean if something like that were to occur, where our planet would have possible changes to our traditional weather patterns and our geography. And if so, how if you think that could possibly be true, and if so, how do you think it would impact us?
Well, there's a lot of things that can possibly be true. Obviously, I don't rule out anything that I can't completely and totally disprove. But I'm also a huge advocate of Occam's razor, which of course means the simplest things are usually true. So when I go out and I look, and every single thing that I observe shows me that the Earth is flat and stationary. I've been 40,000 feet up in the backseat of an F-15, looking up, looking down, looking all around. All I saw was flat and stationary. So until I can find proof that it's not, I'm going with flat and stationary. And that precludes a lot of what ifs, what ands, and buts out of my life that I don't have to worry about anymore. But I like where you're going. I like your studious nature. Great calls tonight. On point, polite, interesting. Keep them coming. Keep it coming, love. Don't stop it now. Don't stop it now. Okay. Lee, you're on the line with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, man.
Can you please turn down my great singing in the background?
Turning it off. 1 second.
Lee, you're on the line. God.
All right. So I was gonna talk about earlier the Val Valiant Thor connection.
Uh-huh.
You guys were talking about him, and like they do actually have some medical records, believe it or not, where he has one giant lung, 6 fingers on each hand, and he has a higher copper I believe, like content in his blood. And they talk about him, and there's like a photo that was taken with him by Phil Schneider, the guy who is the deep underground military bases.
Mm-hmm.
The guy got his crispy critter. That motherfucker was legit. So excuse my language.
No worries. And what does that prove if he does have all of that?
He's a Venusian. He is a Venusian.
But see, that's where you lose me. Just because, let's say all of that's true, 6 fingers, all of that stuff. Why do we have to, wait a second, why do we have to assume that he's from Venus or from another planet that we don't even know exists? Why can't he be from the ocean that's 95% unexplored? Why can't he be from the center of the earth that's 95% unexplored? Why can't he be from beyond the poles that Admiral Byrd found? Why has it got to be Venus?
You're fucking right. Yeah, that's just what I heard that he claims. But
yeah,
and that's what he said. But you're right. He could be from anywhere.
Could be. And he may be different, but that doesn't mean he's a freaking alien. And UFOs are probably real, but that doesn't mean they're from the dark side of Uranus. Right? Hey, thanks for the great call. That was a good one. Again, another strong call. And I'm only going to be here a few more minutes. I'm trying to roll through and get as many calls as we can. I'm not trying to cut anybody off, even as I cut you off. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. What's on your mind?
This is James. Can I ask the rods a couple questions?
Yeah, go for it.
Is there any extra continents that the masters don't know about?
Is there any extra continents that the masters don't know about?
Masters, like.
Oh, is there? Is there any extra continents that the masses don't know about? The rod's saying emphatic yes.
Is there any extra oceans that the masses don't know about?
Are there any extra oceans that the masses don't know about? The rod's saying enthusiastic yes to both. And I agree with that. I really do. I agree with both of those statements. Anything else on your mind?
No, sir. Thank you for answering the question.
Hey, thank you for calling in. It's my honor. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. You're live. What's on your mind?
Hi, I don't know a lot. My name is Michelle. I'm calling just to ask a couple of questions. I don't know a lot about this subject, but I was wondering, have you ever heard that the Hebrew language is a dialect of the Sumerian language?
I have heard that, and that, that may or may not be true. It probably is true because, how do I say this delicately? The historical Hebrew people they're not really creators. They're usurpers. They are takers. And you might even use the word parasitic. So most of the stuff that's in that ancient Hebrew culture is, to be nice, you would say borrowed. If you weren't trying to be so nice, you would say stolen.
Well, that's a perfect lead-in for my next question. Have you ever compared Stitchin's Sumerian Kings List, the names and the dates, with the Old Testament Bible Kings List names and dates, and then compared both of them to the Indian Vedic text Kings List names and dates?
No, and the only reason why I haven't is because I'm pretty sure that at least 2 of those 3 are complete total bullshit, and I don't have enough time to be dealing with bullshit.
Right. It looks like the Stitchin. It looks like what Stitchin either. Well, it looks like he mistranslated them, but it looks like the dates were changed and the names were changed to serve the narrations that they were put into.
Oh, no doubt about it. He definitely cooked his books.
Yeah. So I just thought that was an interesting thing.
Very interesting.
You can see that they're older and they're more original, and you can see the changes that were made when they were stolen.
Yeah, I think the Vedic texts are probably the oldest and the most accurate, and I'm pretty sure that all of the new, most accurate data from anthropology, from archaeology, from linguistics is proving that the Vedic stuff is the oldest, and it's more than likely Aryan in nature. Just send me an email. You can go to jeffreydaugherty.com, hit the contact, just say you want the rods, give me your address for mailing, and then you can just hit donate on the site, and you can do the rods very easily that way. So that's how you would do it. Thanks for that. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. You're live. What's on your mind?
Jeffrey, hey, Noah here.
Hey, Noah.
Is reality an illusion?
Well, I know Einstein was most likely a shill and a phony, but he did have a very pithy quote on that regard. He said, reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. So, and I kind of agree with that. Reality is an illusion, but it's such a persistent illusion that it causes us all to buy into it. And I think that's really the game that's on right here. The game is, number one, finding out that it is a game. And number two, it is finding out that you can play your own game with your own rules. And the people that get out of here are the ones that, like Bill Hicks said, it's just a ride, it's just a game. First of all, you have to play games to win, and then you got to play your game by your rules to win.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's playing that game, but the rules today aren't right, I guess. I don't know.
Well, make your own. That's the beauty of it. You can make your own game and your own rules.
Yeah. I know. You step out, you try not to think or have thought, but that's not living.
It's not. There's living and there's existing. Don't settle for existing. Push your way through into living, because you are divine, sovereign, and free. You've got the spark of divinity within you, and you don't need to go on bended knee and go to anybody's savior, because you don't need salvation. You're divine, you're sovereign, you're free. And we're the last generation of real humans. It's funny. Nobody asks me what that means anymore. Everybody used to always ask me. Now we know. And now that we know, it's time to get busy. And John R., it is not time to troll the chat room. If you're being polite, you would at least call in and ask that question. It's a call-in show. Don't put your opinions in the chat room. And if you don't like your life, somebody else will make it for you. And whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So why not think you can? And why not manifest your world as you want it to be? There is no prophecy. Nothing's set. You're the one that makes the world that you live in. You're the one that makes the reality that you live in. That's why I'm still convinced that this world is going to be better than it's ever been. And it'll be so sooner than you can ever imagine, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are the last generation of real humans. We're divine, we're sovereign, and we're free. All right, let's grab this last call before we leave. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. Our last call. What's on your mind?
I just got to say this. Bill Hicks is Alex Jones, man.
Oh, shit. I got a chance to use it. Bill Hicks is Alex Jones. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. We'll see you tomorrow night. Late night in the heartland. 10 p.m.